Hi, gorgeous Librans, and welcome to your July 2019 reading. I am so honored and blessed that you have joined me here for our discussion and to discover what you guys have in store in July 2019. Now, this is a really mystical, intense month. It is eclipse season. We have Mercury retrograde coming into the picture. And so when you think about eclipses and retrograde, Mercury retrograde, right, these are all amazing tools for going over something, for creating something new, for turning the page, and for understanding how we morph, why we morph, and being open to change. And so this is a very powerful month for change, for shift. And it's a great time to check in, right? We just passed the solstice. It's super hot up here in the northern hemisphere. I'm feeling very warm and relaxed. We just passed the summer solstice. And so we're into the second half of the year now. And when we were having our last eclipses, those were in January. So this is also a great month where you're checking in with how you've morphed over the last 6 months and where you're morphing now. The big comment I have for this month is this is a month about healing. But healing journeys can bring a lot of surprise with them. Healing journeys can bring a lot of unexpected revelations, unexpected scenarios that help us to heal, that help us to fully integrate. For you guys, there's so much energy going to be in Cancer, a fellow cardinal sign. And when you have a cardinal sign being lit up the way that Cancer is, with the north node of the moon working there, with the fact that the Mercury retrograde starts in Leo and then moves its way back into Cancer, the fact that Mars is working with Cancer this month, and the fact that our first major eclipse is going to be happening on July 2nd. That's a total solar eclipse that will be only seen in parts of South America and in the ocean nearby there. So most of us are not going to get to see that amazing total solar eclipse, but the energy is there. So you have a lot of this energy in your career sector. A lot of this energy in who you want to become and what you want that to look like and feel like for the next phase of your life. And so there's this very strong and powerful pull for you guys to be these magnetic, vibrant people who really show up, and there's a lot of energy there for that. But it's balancing that between the internal. So for you, that Capricorn energy, which there's a lot of energy in Capricorn as well, our next eclipse, the lunar eclipse, is happening on July 16th. And that's a partial lunar eclipse that will be happening in Capricorn. And in Capricorn, we also have Saturn, we also have Pluto, we also have the south node of the moon. So it's really powerful right now because we have such big power players planet-wise in both of these signs, plus we have the eclipses and we have the conversation going on with the eclipses and the north and south node. So we're learning how to balance these things. And for you, these are hitting into like quite quintessential parts of your chart, actually, because it's hitting into your 4th and your 10th house, which is really powerful for you. So let's see what the cards have to say. There's a ton of energy moving around this month. And then, of course, the Mercury retrograde begins on July 9th in Leo, and it will start moving backward. It will hit into Cancer. I'm looking at all my notes. There's so much happening this month. Mercury retrograde enters Cancer on July 19th and then goes direct on July 30th. So it's going to have quite a little journey going through. 9 of Swords. All right. That's interesting to have that be the first card out. This month, though, it's really about healing your understanding of you as an individual that is out there in the world. Tower. Wow. Okay, revolution is afoot. And I will say that eclipses do bring about somewhat of that tower type energy. Now, we're going to talk through that because tower energy gets a bad rap. People are scared of it, the unexpected change, 2 of Swords. But tower energy is extremely powerful. It helps us to clear space. It helps us to see things new. It's the lightning strike, which is one of those divine symbols. Ancient symbols is that direct current to source is seen here. And so we can understand the Tower card in a lot of different ways. It does not always have to include traumatic events. Seven of Swords. Okay, you guys are an air sign, and the swords are showing up for our conversation today quite valiantly. Okay, and then 3 cards wanted to come out here. So we have 6 of Cups, the Magician, the King of Pentacles. You know, as I'm looking through this and as I'm thinking about how the eclipses are hitting your houses and how Cancer energy for Librans is not easy, right? Our fellow signs. So for your fellow cardinal signs, you know, Aries is something that you can work with quite well, but Cancer is challenging to you. It squares you. It challenges how you master cardinal energy because it's another cardinal sign that works in a very different fashion, and the world. Okay. I like these top 4 cards. I think you guys probably enjoy them too, but it's a challenge to you. So in Cancer season, especially with a Mercury retrograde moving through there, especially because we have a new moon in Cancer on July 2nd that is a solar eclipse, you are getting challenged to do things differently. You are getting challenged to show up to the table differently. You are getting challenged to start something new. And so a lot of emotions are going to be coming up for you when it comes to that. And the other thing I want to say is that the Mercury retrogrades, yes, a good chunk of it is going to be happening in Leo. We'll have a good 10 days of Mercury retrograde in Leo, which helps us reassess, you know, the way we create, the way we visualize, for you guys, you know, reassess your social dynamics, your community. But then it does move back into Cancer, and then we have a good chunk of days where it's in Cancer. So you are getting challenged to reassess, to look, to dig up anything that is holding you back from living the life you want to live. And that's where all this Swords energy at the beginning of the month, the first half of this month, is really showing up. You know, this is very powerful, powerful energy. And the thing is, this Tower is very much centered in the midst of a whole bunch of mental cards, right? It's cards where we go deep into our psyche and we investigate. And so that's telling me that this Tower thing for you is not going to be an external experience. This Tower card is going to be something that is happening within you. It is going to topple a belief system, a scenario, an environment in your own mind that is no longer serving you. So you could be making some really big connections between something maybe in, you know, your matrilineal line, a shared belief, an idea that's no longer serving you, that you are freeing yourself from, that you are untying and untethering yourself from, so that you have the space to become what you want to become next. But that can go really deep. Once again, Cancer energy, having the eclipse in Cancer, having the Mercury retrograde in Cancer, you know, regardless of house placement, regardless of your personal chart, we're all working with this healing mother energy. And if you have challenges with that, if you have challenges with healing and nurturing yourself, if you have challenges with feminine energy in your family or in your lifestyle or within yourself, it's going to be getting lit up and brought up, and the more we fight that, the harder it's going to be. So this is going to be a time where we are going very deep internal. You know, the crab, the moon, these are like symbols of the hidden landscape. These are symbols of the hidden, energetic, intuitive landscape that can be sometimes very overwhelming and almost like a hall of mirrors, because you can't tell where one thing ends and the other begins. So that's kind of what this Swords energy is telling me. You know, there's something on your mind, there's something that's been weighing you down, there's something that you've been feeling you need to analyze, overthink, second guess, worry about. And maybe, you know, this is something that is very subtle, built up in the background. It doesn't have to be something right in your face, but there is this desire for you to break those chains, right? Because the Nine of Swords and the Two of Swords are very much about feeling that you are in your thoughts and you can't quite see past those thoughts. And this is a conversation of ultimate surrender, ultimate release to the greater energy, to your higher self, to source. And I think there's this big desire for you guys to release that sense of control, to welcome in the next phase of beautiful things. And so I think there's a readiness and an eagerness. Now just be aware, like I said, this month comes with a lot of surprises. The way that blessings come into our lives, the way that opportunities show up come in a little bit of a different package than our conscious mind is able to produce, because source and our higher selves are often much better at pinpointing what we really need in life. And so we have to have a bit of an open mind here, but you guys are being told to crack something open and release something. And it's true, there may be a catalyst in the external world that does that, maybe a difficult conversation, maybe a powerful experience in work or in your social group that is bringing up some of this stuff. Now, Seven of Swords is really interesting in this whole conversation as well, right? Because this is a part of it. This is the first half of the month. The Seven of Swords has a complex energy to it. Seven in tarot is very much about spiritual ascension and learning something new. And you can look at this card in very literal terms as somebody who's disarming the enemy in the middle of the night, as somebody who's sneaking around, thief in the night kind of energy. But you can also think about this in terms of the paranoia that can creep up in your own mind. Can you trust yourself? Can you be open to abundance? Or is there always kind of this feeling that there has to be a thief in the night, that there has to be somebody stealing something from somebody else in order for things to work, right? There's something deep here going on with you guys with allowing for a deeper sense of trust. Whatever you want, whatever it is that has been calling to you and kind of haunting you, you are required right now to have a deeper sense of trust in order to have it. And if you aren't feeling ready this month, if you are resistant to it, that's fine, but it will not facilitate you receiving these things that you want. It will not facilitate you having that sense of growth. So just kind of keep that in mind. You know, if you're willing to explore, you are going to get some amazing blessings, because look at these next four cards, my friends. Six of Cups, the Magician, King of Pentacles, and the World. Now these are cards of success, of excitement, of connection, of new beginnings, of investment, of ingenuity, of surprise, and committing to a path that feels really good to you. Now, it's interesting to have the Six of Cups in here, right? Because we were just talking about old mental patterns, healing our matrilineal line, healing our thought processes when it comes to certain modes of abundance, certain modes of moving through the world, and releasing anything that no longer serves us. You know, cleansing by fire, cleansing by lightning, cleansing by I'm letting that go. But Six of Cups is nostalgia. It is our past. It is the emotional clinching of a whole bunch of things that, you know, we can go back to those childhood memories and we can smell it, and we can taste it, and we can feel it. This is the card of nostalgia, of memory. Here's the thing. There are parts of the past beings that you've been. There are parts of the experiences that you've had that are very valuable, that touch on a core piece of you that you are meant to take with you. You're not meant to just destroy the past versions of yourself and just cast aside everything. There is something really important in what you have in your past that can come with you, that can be a part of your journey. That sentimental, loving side can come with you to move forward. Now, that can be a really deep connection as well. Six of Cups, yes, it can be associated with past relationships coming back. We do have a Mercury retrograde coming in, which does tend to bring up conversations from people that maybe you haven't talked to in a little while. It can bring up opportunities to address things with people from the past. You know, with the eclipses and Mercury retrograde, always be aware that there's no solid conclusion this month. You're not just going to have a clear answer and be done. This is a month where things get opened up, things get clarified a little bit, but there's more to be seen, right? So Six of Cups, yes, it could bring in some of that. There could be some deep healing that comes from that kind of energy. But for you, you are supposed to be looking toward the horizon. And that's what the Magician, the King of Pentacles, and the World is all about. The Magician is Mercury, right? And I'm having this feeling that you guys are going to have a really powerful Mercury retrograde. It's going to hit you in a very real way. You may find that you're at a loss for words, that you almost shut down, especially the first part of it. You may find that you have to kind of retract and go in, and that's okay. You know, one of the beautiful gifts that Mercury retrograde gives us is that it lets us incorporate and think and process and take in new ideas and go over anything that we need to reassess. However, the magician is a forward mover. He's a creator. He's the ultimate manifester. He's the ultimate shakeup, and he brings in a message that you need. He brings in clarity. He brings in a new beginning. He's the number one. That leap from 0 to 1 is here in the magician and into this active realization mode. Now for you, that has to do with what you're investing in. I have this feeling by the end of this month, as we hit into Leo season on July 23rd, I am so excited. Venus is going to go into Leo on July 28th. Mercury is going direct on July 30th. So the last few days of this month are going to be very abundant and very crisp. And there's going to be this sense of fruitfulness from what the hard work that we do the first 2 weeks of this month through that full moon in Capricorn eclipse. We get this investment energy. Now, maybe you have a King of Pentacles around you. Maybe you have this strong investing energy around you. But you are meant to be investing in your next version of the world for you. You are meant to be investing in who you are becoming and what you want that to look like and how you want that to look. So you can't stay stuck for too long in that mental cycle that we saw at the beginning of the month. You can't stay stuck too long in who you've been in the past and where you feel paranoia, where you feel things are too good to be true, where you feel that you are supposed to hold back. Now, here's where the healing comes in when it comes to Cancer North Node, Cancer New Moon, total solar eclipse, Mercury retrograding, moving back through Cancer. These are all healers when it comes to our sense of abundance from source. Because often we do not want to take on this new thing because we feel we have to take it from this finite source. Whether it be love, resources, energy, we feel like there's this finite source, and each time we take from it, we're depleting something. Now that can be true. We live in a world right now where our thoughts about resources do need to change, and we are working on that, and it's stressful and it's scary. But when it comes to source and when it comes to love and connection and things like that, that is infinite. And there's never a point where you're taking from something that only exists in a tiny amount. And so that's part of the healing that's going on for you. Now, if you're willing to go there, if you're willing to be pulled into the fog a little bit the first couple weeks of this month, when you come out, the sense of knowing where you want to go next will be very strong. The sense of abundance will be extremely powerful. So keep that in mind. Because I tell you what, the first 2 to 3 weeks of this month will be a lot of information is going to be coming in. A lot of clarity is going to be coming in, but it may not all make sense right away. It may take until we get into Leo season, until we get more into this direct action, before we get through these eclipses and we kind of see, we look back and we understand what came in for us. So kind of just be aware of that as you're moving through the month, that you are going to get downloads, you're going to get hits of information, you're going to have times where things seem to make sense. Let it all settle before you act too intensely on anything. Let the dust settle a little bit, and when you look back, you'll start to understand. It will all kind of click into place. I promise. I'm sending you guys so much love. If you'd like to connect with me or work with me, I will leave all of my info in the description box. You can find me at SARAHTAROT.com. You can also find me on Instagram at SarahVerba. I would love to see you guys over there. We have some great conversations going on Instagram. So you can find all of the information to get in touch with me or to work with me in the description box. I'm wearing PinkLune. She's on a crown kick right now, so you won't be able to find some of these pieces that I'm wearing right now, but you will be able to find crowns. So I will leave her link in the description box as well. I will see you all for August. Can you believe it? For Leo season, it is my birthday month. I'm going to be really excited to talk to you guys about August. Be patient, be kind with yourselves. Love yourselves. It's going to be an amazing time. I'm sending you so much love.